Welcome to Da'ai Headlines. I'm Anthony Carlisle. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, the Deputy Mayor of Quezon City in the Philippines shows her support for over 1,000 fire victims at a Tzu Chi distribution. We start a new series on the eco-friendly ways of Taiwan's ethnic Hakka people with a look at a low-carbon lantern festival in Hakka Township. And South African Tzu Chi volunteers from the Zulu community arrive in New York for a meeting at the United Nations on empowering women. We start today's show in the Philippines, where a fire in the Quezon City area of Manila destroyed the homes of 1,307 families in early February. Tzu Chi volunteers immediately launched an aid distribution, handing out packages of daily essentials, rice and blankets to the victims. Quezon City Deputy Mayor Josefina Belmonte and staff from the National Power Corporation were among the many who came to give their support to the distribution. It was the birthday of one volunteer called Marietta, who said she was celebrating by giving back the help she had received from Tzu Chi before.
A big blaze in Quezon City has robbed over 1,000 households of their homes. But when Tzu Chi arrived with relief packages, these fire victims know they're no longer alone on the road to rebuilding their lives.
This is a great help for us. Because of Tzu Chi's support, we have the confidence to rebuild our lives.
Tzu Chi's aid distribution is generating a ceaseless cycle of love. Deputy Mayor Josefina Belmont is also here to listen to every need, while leading fire victims to contribute to the bamboo coin banks to help one another.
Tzu Chi volunteers are our heroes in the Philippines. We're so thankful, and hopefully the fire victims can stop thinking about why it happened and start helping one another to look forward and walk out of the shadows.
Happy birthday to you.
Tzu Chi volunteer Marietta is spending a meaningful birthday at the distribution site.
Happy birthday, Mama. I love you.
Her conjoined twin daughters were separated by surgery earlier in Taiwan, with blessings from Master Zheng Yan.
Because I have participated in Tzu Chi's distribution, my birthday was filled with hope and colors.
Meanwhile, at a venue sponsored by the Philippines National Power Corp, staff like Dennis are calling out to everyone to help society by donating what they can.
Many of our employees are fire victims. We thank Tzu Chi for their support and we are glad to assist.
Able to feel what they're feeling.
In a sea of prayers, fire victims are learning to embrace the future bravely and with an optimistic outlook, starting by adapting a grateful heart.
Another fire recently broke out in Penang, Malaysia, burning down a tin-roofed home. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Immediately after learning about the blaze, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to make a needs assessment and then give out aid to the victims. As soon as news of the fire reached Tzu Chi volunteers, they immediately went to the site to make an assessment and care for the survivors.
Though we were busy when this kind of thing happens, time is of the essence, so we put down everything and rushed over.
The fire in Penang, Malaysia burned down a home, but thankfully no one was harmed.
I'm not sure exactly when it happened because I wasn't at home. I heard someone say they saw smoke coming from the roof. By the time I got back, there was nothing left. The fire crew said it was an electric light on the altar that caught fire.
After making an assessment, volunteers hand consolation cash to the two affected households, as well as instant noodles, biscuits and grain powder. When needed most, Tzu Chi volunteers reach out the first helping hand to the fire victims.
It's very nice and there's a personal touch. Thank you for kindly helping us.
Very few people came to help us. When I saw help coming from you first, I was very happy.
The volunteers' timely support gives the fire victims a taste of warmth and kindness. Jin Camel Raya No. 6 is a shelter in Sengkarang, Jakarta for homeless teenage boys. To survive on the streets, the boys had to learn how to look after themselves, and so good manners were never a high priority. However, since finding refuge in the shelter, after more than a year of encouragement and guidance from visiting Tzu Chi volunteers, the boys seem to be making some progress.
Sitting in rows on the floor, these dozens of teenage boys, all school dropouts, are no stranger to the streets.
The purpose of us coming here is to inspire them, to teach them. Most of them came from the streets. Though they were in school once, they felt like they didn't learn much from school, so they dropped out. We want to make them understand the importance of schooling.
After watching an inspiring video, everyone is expressing their thoughts with the encouragement of Tzu Chi volunteers. Interactive games are also used to draw everyone closer.
The volunteers taught us to have team spirit and to be grateful and not to give up hope, especially when we fail. We shouldn't always compare ourselves with others and should embrace life with a grateful heart.
After more than a year of bi-monthly visits from the volunteers, these once rebellious boys are seeing great improvements in their manners and temper as they work towards taking one step closer to a successful future.
Today we start a brand new series on green living in Taiwan's Hakka communities. Members of the ethnic Chinese group found in locations around southern China, Southeast Asia and of course here in Taiwan have come up with some ecologically sustainable ways of life, including a low-carbon lantern festival in Hakka Township of Hsinchu County.
The night before the Lantern Festival, the senior center in Hakka Township is full of activity. Grandma, tell me, how do you do this? Oh, so I cut it like this and cut this melon and stick it on a lantern later. These calendars are all donated by neighbors. I see that everyone took last year's calendars and brought them here. With everyone contributing a little, there's more than enough material to make these lanterns. Under the skillful hands of the community's mothers and grandmothers, calendars have been transformed into beautiful patterns.
The legs were made from the insides of a discarded mattress. We wrapped those pieces to make them into legs. These props are discarded plastic pipes taken from a construction site. Once we got them back here, we snapped them together. They also make up the arms that move and can bend like this, which means it can wave to everyone. Children really love it.
We can see that for Hsinchu Village's Lantern Festival this year, the main lantern is the SpongeBob that is made entirely from recycled materials. It is super eco-friendly. This year is Hakka Township's first ever Lantern Festival parade. Unfortunately, the weather is not cooperating. However, as you can see, many residents have come out to brave the elements to join this community event. Every person can be seen holding one of these, a handheld lantern. This is the year of the rabbit. Very cute. Looking at the parade that your community has put together, it is small but beautiful and really captures the spirits behind the Lantern Festival.
What was important for us was that we participated in all of it, from the making of the lanterns, the hanging of them, and even today's parade. All was done by the residents. As well, the greater community of Hakka has also come out today to join in the fun. Even with the heavy rains, everyone is having a good time.
The rain actually makes the whole experience of the Lantern Festival much more unforgettable for us residents, so I knew I had to come. By carrying a lantern, I can return to my childhood.
Braving the rain, residents can be seen everywhere as they carry their lanterns in line with the parade. The celebration didn't cost a lot of money, but with everyone's participation, it brings a sense of warmth and happiness that money can't buy.
We stay with the festivities in Taiwan but move further south to UN Township in Changhua, where Tzu Chi held a Chinese New Year gathering for their recycling and other volunteers. The hosts also invited a doctor from Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital to give a talk on staying healthy.
At this Chinese New Year gathering in Yunlin Township, Tzu Chi volunteers delivered the blessings of the Earth God and Goddess to everyone. During the festivities, there are also more practical words that they want everyone to hear.
If you get a yearly checkup, the chances are very good that the signs of cancer will not be missed.
Dr. Chen says that a health checkup is like the regular maintenance you do on your car. Every year you should come in at least once. If there's a problem, it can be discovered and treated early on. The audience seems to take the doctor's words to heart.
You need to get health checkups so you'll be healthy. When you're healthy, then you can help with the work of recycling.
To be healthy, in addition to regular health checkups, one should eat less meat and exercise more. 78-year-old Zhan Dehuang is a good example.
Those little illnesses after doing charity work, moving here, moving there, it really helps the body get in good shape.
Taking care of your health and you can take care of others. At this gathering, these priceless words were given for the benefit of everyone so they can enjoy the upcoming year in the best health possible.
After the landslide that destroyed a furniture store in Geelong on Sunday night, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilised to offer comfort and support to community residents. One senior resident broke down in tears after seeing the arrival of the volunteers. Two neighbouring store owners who happened to be Tzu Chi volunteers joined the relief effort right away.
Here opposite the Geelong mudslide site in northern Taiwan is Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Wenzhan's motorbike store, which has become a temporary gathering point for volunteers. Later in the day, volunteers gather relief items in preparation for their visits to the neighborhood. Seeing the arrival of Tzu Chi volunteers, Grandpa Ling breaks down in tears.
We saw his neighbor's house collapse. He was upset and frightened. His son was comforting him all yesterday as well.
To comfort the startled old man, volunteers chant Buddhist scriptures.
Through our interactions, he has a channel to express his fear, insecurity and shock. By talking to us, he can let go of his anxiety.
Volunteers also arrive at the borough's head office and nearby stores that are opposite to the disaster site to ensure everyone's safety and offer comfort. The owner of a nearby optical shop also happens to be a Tzu Chi media volunteer.
The landslide happened right in front of me. The first thing I did was go to the second floor to get my video camera, and then I started filming.
The timely support and hot meals brings great comfort to the residents and victims. Rest assured, Tzu Chi volunteers will always be around whenever and wherever needed.
In our next story, we go to Zhangzhou in China's Fujian province to meet Tzu Chi volunteer Yan Zihua. Over a decade ago, she started watching the Da Ai channel and decided that she wanted to join Tzu Chi. However, she had to wait until the year before last when volunteers came to promote recycling in Zhangzhou before her wish was granted. Since then, she hasn't wasted time. In the last year or so, she has recruited nearly 200 people. Sorting cardboard with their hands and crushing bottles with their feet, volunteers are doing their bit for Mother Earth.
Our environmental day is in the second week. It's not time yet, but it's full, so we came to do it again.
Apart from its small size, another reason this recycling point is full is because volunteers have advertised it well. The mini-station is in volunteer Yan Zihua's community, 10 paces from her tailor's workshop. Yan Zihua has been a seamstress for decades, but recently she's been hard to find at her shop in Zhangzhou of China's Fujian province.
When my customers can't find me, they ask, "Where did you go?" I say I went to do Tzu Chi. They say, "What's Tzu Chi?" And I tell them about it. Some people praise me, but others ask where it is and a lot of other questions.
And so Yan Zihua brought more people into Tzu Chi. She had wanted to join for a long time.
In 2000, my daughter installed the Dai channel, and I thought, this organization is so good. If it were on the mainland where we are here, how good would that be? I would definitely join.
Yan Zihua's prayers were answered when the blue and white uniforms arrived in 2009.
In April 2009, Nanjing volunteers came to Zhangzhou. I found out in May and took part. It was to recycle, but the only thing on my mind was to hand in donations.
As well as raising funds, Yan Zihua has recruited over 200 people to Tzu Chi. Even her mother and mother-in-law donate.
When they watched Dai, they saw a lot of floods and fires, and the Haiti earthquake. They saw it all. My mother-in-law and mother asked if 10 renminbi was okay, and I said yes.
Serving and speaking about Tzu Chi whenever she can, Yan Zihua says she will stick to the path for the rest of her life.
You must follow in the footsteps of Master Zheng Yan and pass the ideals of Tzu Chi to the public.
On this day, the 23rd of February, American attorney Paul P. Harris organized the first Rotary Club in Chicago on this day in 1905. The social organization, which was formed to build fellowship and goodwill among professionals, later developed into a service club that pools resources and talent together to care for the needy. Since January of 1992, the Tzu Chi Foundation began sending volunteers to rural areas on a campaign to spread the spirit of humanity, disseminate love, and in turn help Taiwan better its international reputation. On this day in 1992, the third event in the campaign was held in Hemei Town in Changhua County. Tzu Chi's humanities model was first introduced by Taiwan's National Zhengzhi University as an interdisciplinary course on this day in 2000. The lecturers were a select team of Tzu Chi volunteers from a variety of professional backgrounds. Many tertiary educational institutions also followed suit and made Tzu Chi classes an interdisciplinary staple. The Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital conducted its first pathological autopsy on a donated cadaver on this day in 2001. The body belonged to a cancer patient who wished to contribute to medical science. In our next story, we introduce you to a single mother, Miss Jiang from Taichung City in Taiwan. After her divorce 4 years ago, she was left to raise two daughters who both have nail patella syndrome, which means they have no fingernails and weakened limbs. But Miss Jiang faces her challenges with optimism and has created a happy home for her children.
Here in Taichung City, Taiwan, Miss Jiang's house is filled with happiness and laughter. Her elder daughter's colorful and bright drawings are a reflection of their lives. However, looking closely, Miss Jiang's two daughters actually suffer nail patella syndrome, a genetic disorder that results in poorly developed nails and kneecaps.
有没有听医生的话？
有。
现在每天都有吃药吗？
有。
不吃药会怎样？
吃跳跳。
Well aware of their conditions, the family remain positive about their lives.
I was really afraid to talk about their condition and illness with others before, but now I think I need to let everyone know so that they can understand my daughters.
Ms. Jiang says she was once depressed over her divorce 4 years ago and her daughter's illness. Luckily, the support from Tzu Chi and other kind-hearted people has helped her through.
For a while, I couldn't let go. My children encouraged me and said, "Mom, don't be like this. Be brave." I think they're more courageous than me.
To reciprocate the love from Tzu Chi, the trio now donates their spare coins to the charity coin bank.
因为要救人，帮助工救人。
Her mom is selling fruit, so our sister bought some fruits from the family. She remembered her and said, "Thank you for buying our fruit." She is so young, and when you give a little, she is very content.
Ms. Zhang and her two daughters also attended Tzu Chi year-end blessing ceremony. She prays that her children will grow up healthily and face life with optimism.
After an 18-hour flight from South Africa, Zulu volunteers Gladys Ngema and Tolakeli Mkhize finally arrived in New York, their first stop in a month-long trip to the United States. The pair will be participating in the UN Commission on the Status of Women and visit Tzu Chi's US headquarters, and 7 other chapters is also on their itinerary. The moment they have been anticipating is finally here.
You look good.
Volunteers in New York are ready to give a warm welcome to their fellow Zulu volunteers. The New Yorkers know best how to battle their chilly winter. However, warm coats have been prepared for Gladys and Tolakeli, who came from the southern hemisphere, where it's still summer.
Drink a lot of water.
Despite the unfamiliar setting, all hearts are instantly united in the big Tzu Chi family.
Since I didn't see such a smell. Now it's the second time.
When I come to see our brothers and sisters, I was welcomed, I was given everything, I'm home enough. Oh, I feel at home. More than home.
More than okay.
More than
okay. Very nice.
So you be like, you need to be sleep, relax,
Relax.
What I can mention, people here, they are nice, they are all sisters and brothers, enjoying nicely. We didn't have, nobody was upsetting us. It was a heaven place.
Yeah, you are so good spirit. So good spirit.
The Big Apple is the first stop for this pair. On February 22nd, they will go to the UN, where they will share the difference Tzu Chi has made in the lives of others like them in South Africa. Over on the west coast of the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers organised a spring celebration at Bret Harte Elementary School in San Francisco. One of the teachers said Tzu Chi's commitment to local communities persuaded him to join as a donor.
Delicious food, especially prepared for teachers at the Bret Harte Elementary School in San Francisco, is Tzu Chi volunteers' way of saying Happy Year of the Rabbit to the hardworking educators.
They have so much chemistry.
One of the teachers, Mr. Klein, is a donating member of the Tzu Chi Foundation. He says he was inspired to do so because of Tzu Chi's contribution to local schools, such as giving children free tuitions.
When they came into John Muir School, it was around 2007. And they were giving like they always give, and they were helping. And I was a little skeptical. I said, what do they want from me, and why are they doing this? But they never asked anything. And she still believes. She's young and optimistic, and I'm going to show her what a real organization is and explain where the money goes and the good things they do.
At the Tzu Chi Spring Festival held for the school, students take home with them the NGO's famed Wisdom and Blessings red envelopes and reciprocate by donating to the charity collection boxes, thus propagating the circle of love. The Tzu Chi chapter in Northern California invited a representative from a solar panel company to speak to an event about raising awareness about environmental protection. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.